let's talk Datacron set 17, which is going to be one of the strongest Datacron sets they've ever made. JMK owners, JML owners, Mon Mothma users. If you've got the Imperial Remnant, if you're a whale, you're happy. If you're Night Sisters, you're happy. Lots of things to make people happy, lots of things to make the rest of us really frustrated, and we'll talk about it. We'll start with stats. Defense is here. Health Steal is here. Tenacity here. We've got Armor Pen is still here. So we've got everything that's annoying except dodge. I would, I prefer this to us having dodge, but I would rather them not any of them be here personally. It might be a little small for you guys to see as well. Let's zoom in a little, shall we? So we've got everything annoying here except dodge. It could be worse. It could be worse. Let's move on now to the alignment. So we got light and dark side here. The dark side resist debuffs. This I think will be the go-to dark side. We'll go ahead and talk about it as I go through. This is not a shopping list. This is just like an initial look at it. Whenever they use special ability, they gain evasion of health steal up and heal up. Okay, sure, that's fine. Evasion up could be annoying. Health steal up could be annoying. This one's not that great. This is not that great. This is not that great. This is not that great. So really, dark side don't have a lot of good level 3s here. It'll mostly be these. Mostly just be evasion up, health steal up. That's it. Light side, however, gets tank revive, special ability turn meter gain, ally dying, offense, and speed stacking. Those are the big three that we have on light side here. The basic speed up's not terrible. The gain of buff is not that helpful. Make sure here. Let me move my webcam to the other side. Is that better? I don't think that would be better. It's fine. You guys can see it. If I need to move my head, I will. Next up, we've got factions. So these are our first two factions, and they're kind of crazy. This one, obviously, this is what you'll have for your Radist Rogue One team. Start a battle, all Rogue One allies gain 100% max health protection, 60% offense, 20 speed. If Jen's an ally, she assists whenever Rogue One ally uses an ability. If all allies were Rogue One at the start of battle, meaning you do need a 5th Rogue One member, which I don't usually do, but I actually just relicked K2, so I can do that now. Whenever an enemy attacks that turn, expose them for 1 turn, which can be evaded or resisted. All Rogue One allies can speed up and recover 30% of the protection, so we're getting a little bit of Aiden's Omicron built in here almost. So that's going to make Rogue One really obnoxious. I like him on offense most of the time, but it may be a season of Rogue One on defense. We'll see. Whenever they're revived, that's not that helpful. Damage reduction could be okay. Defeating enemies not that helpful. The blind could be annoying, but not that helpful. You really want this one, maybe damage reduction. One of those two. But I think the first one is your kind of guaranteed shoe-in. At least for the Radis team, for the Mon Mothma variant, I think you're going to want blind or you're going to want damage reduction. And we'll talk about that later. Jedi, you've either got Retaliate, which is basically the Steadfast Resolve, I think was the name of it the Galactic Republic got, but a little bit weaker. They're going to take some damage for hitting you. Not that great. You're going to want this. There's nothing else that even comes close. Whenever Jedi allies use a special ability during their turn, they stun target enemy for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. We've had this before. If you've been around the game for a very long time, one of the first Datacron sets we had, I think, had this. It was JMK level 9s and stuff, and it had this. And it was so dumb. It might have been Galactic Republic and not Jedi, but we had like a stun on special. Holy crap. It is so obnoxious. What's even more important, nowhere in here does the team need to be full Jedi. You need a stun, chuck Ayla Secura in a team, and she has stuns on all her abilities pretty much anyway, but you get the point. Stuck Jedi Counselor in a team, and he's got a stun now. He's got 2 of them on specials. So you can literally plug and play stuns if they're relic characters, I guess, more because people don't have relic Jedi Counselor and stuff, but you just got if you got the most recent Jedi Allies Lightspeed bundle, you've got a lot of random relic Jedi sitting around, and we'll talk even more about those random relic Jedi later, but point is that you can plug and play Jedi for stuns. Qui-Gon Jinn's going to be obnoxious. JMK is going to be obnoxious. JML is going to be... Maybe JML goes back on defense now because that's going to force Sith Eternal, I think. Queen Amidala, you've got 2 Jedi there. Both have specials. Both can stun. We've actually got a Master Qui-Gon level 9 that we'll talk about when we get there too. So it's the stun. There's nothing else here that's like even close. Turn meter's not that nice. When you stun someone, okay, well, you want the stun one. I mean, it's... the debuff cleansing, not that helpful. Maybe retaliate, you can make some small argument for it, but it's going to be stun. I mean, it's just so much better than the rest of them. It's going to be stun level 6. Let's go ahead and keep rolling here. We'll move quick. I like to get these I'd like to get you guys' info quick. I don't want to sit here and stall for 20 minutes. Night Sisters. If you have Night Sisters, you're going to want this first one. That's kind of it. I mean, maybe a damage reduction. None of the rest of this is that crazy. The max health debuff could be good. It could be. I don't want to, like, rule it out. But, like, whenever... And I say... there it is. Yeah. Whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, you get 40% health protection and gain retribution and 50% turn. Like, this is going to help you stay alive. Most of us are not going to get much use out of the first bit of this unless stealth. I think stealth would count the magic stealth from Marin too. That's kind of my main thing, is I think this counts magic stealth from Marin. If this does not count the magic stealth from Marin, then you do have to start looking at either max health or the damage reduction. But the level, it's the level 9s for Night Sisters where they're really going to shine. You could even maybe justify the repost, but it's not as helpful because most of the attack out of turns for Night Sisters are coming from the ones that are dead, and I don't think they're allowed to get repost because they're dead. Imperial Remnant. I don't want to speculate too much here because I'm not super familiar with Enoch's team myself. I don't have a Relic Enoch. Alert, I know, is a Mechanical Enoch's team. Blight's Enoch's team. If you're looking for like a DTMG... Kron, my best guess would be some crit avoidance here, or where's the... Here we go, the bonus turn. Just to be annoying. I'm not seeing the rest of these being super important. Next up, we've got the level 9s. This is where things are going to get really crazy. Night Sister Zombie to me felt like the winner for Night Sisters. Whenever Night Sister Zombie taunts, she gains 10% defense, stacking until the end of the encounter. All Night Sister allies gain offense up and tenacity up. Just to be clear, Night Sister Zombie taunts at the start of its turn as long as it doesn't have buff immunity. Meaning, every turn, allies are getting offense up and tenacity up. So you just basically have permanent offense up and tenacity up. And whenever zombies defeated, which is constantly, it does not say the first time, inflict all enemies with healing and a buff immunity. Healing immunity, buff immunity for 2 turns. It can be cleansed, to be clear. And it doesn't... typically, datacron stuff can't be resisted, so I think we're assuming it can't be resisted. But I don't know that for a fact, because, we got down here resisted. So, could maybe be resisted, but really it's not cleansable, and that's happening constantly. Morgan Elizabeth, if you have Morgan, that looks good, but if you don't have Morgan, don't worry about it. Night Spirit doesn't look that great. This looks completely useless to me. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuns with DACA and everything, but, like, compared to this, like, I don't see a need for Asajj. Gideon's looks insane. This is OG Moff Gideon. Whenever Moff Gideon's inflicted with a debuff or buff, he gains a stack of insight and stealth for 1 turn. And I know you're like, oh, who cares about insight? Just give me a sec. Whenever he gains 4 stacks of insight, he gains 100% turn meter. Whenever an Imperial Remnant ally, and that'll kick in more. Whenever an Imperial Remnant ally is inflicted with a debuff, they get health protection. That's fine. No one cares. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with Armor Shred, blind all enemies for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. But... the last line, whenever he uses Subversive Volley, he deals bonus massive damage to all enemies. That's 900,999 damage, I believe. I believe that's the amount that massive damage is. Obviously, that gets reduced for GLs and stuff like that, but that's huge. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be significant. So, basically, he needs to just live, get 4 stacks of insight, get 100% turn meter, hit that AoE, gat, and the whole team's gone. You've just massive damage, they're all dead. So if you have a Relic Moff Gideon, you need this. That's where we're at. And then we're thinking, okay, well, what Imperial Remnants do we want to pair with this? That's part of why I mentioned this, the crit avoidance and crit chance, because it seems like you just want to stall. Maybe you could do the debuff offense. I think that could be decent too, but to me, I think you just want to stall. That's where he lands for me. Enoch seems good if you have Enoch. Dark Trooper seems okay. It does not seem as good as Gideon if you're trying to run him, and if you're running Dark Trooper in the Imperial Remnant team, it doesn't seem like you would rather, maybe if you have him in a separate Trooper team, this is neat, it's a little bit extra offense, but if you're running an Imperial Remnant team, you're going to want Gideon. Let's see, next set, Luton, crazy, not as good as PAO, funnily enough, but we'll talk about it. Most people are using him with Mon Mothma. Well, Desperate Pretty, if you have him, it looks fine. I think Enox looks better, but if you have him, great. Axis looks okay if you're using a Masaw. Most people aren't. Mon Mothma. Whenever a Royal Trooper ally is summoned, all Royal Fighter allies gain repost until the Royal Trooper has been defeated. Whenever an ally attacks a turn, they deal 35% more damage. That seems great. And then you're like, that seems awesome. But now let's go look at PAO. At the start of battle, all allies gain 100% max health max protection, and are immune to healing immunity, which is crazy. You've just doubled everyone's stats, basically. And you're just casually immune to healing immunity, too. Whenever PAO assist, which is every single turn, he deals bonus massive damage, which can't be evaded, and all eyes recover 10% health. Every single turn, PAO is assisting, dealing bonus massive damage. If that wasn't enough, whenever he uses a special ability, he shocks all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. What? Okay, just massive damage here. Shock all enemies here. Oh, and whenever he uses a basic on his turn, he stealths and gains defense pin up for 1 turn and inflicts targeting with offense down. The basic, not that good. He's not going to be using a whole lot of basics on his turn because he's POW. He'll be spamming his special, which means he's going to be shocking everybody. And when he's getting called to assist, he's going to be killing them. I think this is going to wipe most teams out in a couple turns. Realistically, because we've got, to pair that with a Rogue One here for the blind too. So we get to just blind them. Or maybe when they defeat an enemy, take a bonus turn, give POW a bonus turn. There's so many good options here, or even just damage reduction to keep POW alive. That's kind of the train of thought there. He's going to be crazy. K2's looks okay. It's probably better than Cassian's, but not that great. Just Detropertia is already, I think it's the same one. Yeah, they just put it on there twice. That's fine. But yeah, so K2 and Cassian for your Rogue One team, level 9s don't look super important. The level 6 I think is the main thing. You get one of those, you want them, but I think the level 6 for the Rogue One, like Radis team, is super important. Next one's some Jedi stuff. Plo looks crazy. We've got true damage on his things. A special ability stuns all enemies. He has 2 of those. He has 2 AoE stuns now. And whenever defense up expires, which whenever he gains it, whenever defense up expires, he taunts and gains damage for 1 turn and inflicts ability block on all enemies. Whew. Wild. Eth Koth, the start of the battle. Underpowered Jedi or Jack, yeah. Underpowered Jedi get 100% offense and 20 speed, and are immune to buff immunity. This is the JMK one to me. It seems like. Plo could be good with JMK too. I don't know. Underpowered is a Galactic Republic Jedi. Whenever they take damage, he taunts. Whenever ETH evades an attack, he gains 10% turn meter. Oh, so this is probably for Qui-Gon. So ETH is probably going to be Qui-Gon, and this will probably be JMK. If the leader is a Galactic Jedi, whenever they take damage, ETH causes taunts, gain foresight until he evades. Whenever ETH evades an attack, he gains 10% turn meter, and all Galactic Republic allies recover 20% health and protection. Whenever ETH uses a special ability, he gains 20% turn meter, blinds all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. And all Galactic Republic allies gain that. Whenever you use a basic, daze them. Whenever they gain foresight, they get health and protection and turn meter. The turn meter screams Qui-Gon to me. Well, Plo maybe would be better with JMK with an AoE stun. That's kind of where I land for that. Shock T doesn't look that good. Master Qui-Gon, he gains a second heal return protection from time to returns, inflict target protection disruption. That seems really good. We'll see. It'll be good with the QA team. They put the extra pretty one in here again. But yeah, so heal over time, protection over time, and that's every time like Padawan Obi-Wan's using an ability or using a basic, it's calling the assist there, so that'll be good with QA. Quick overview thoughts. I went through that about as quick as I could. We've got a really crazy Mon Mothma Kron with POW. We've got a good Rogue One level 6. We've got really good Krons for Qui-Gon Jinn, for JMK. No Jedi specific units here for JML. But just the Jedi stun level 6 will be really good with JML. We've got really good for Gideon if you have Gideon. We've got a really good Night Sister Zombie one if you have Night Sister Zombies. And then just a lot of plug-and-play Jedi stun stuff that'll be good. The level 3s aren't that crazy. The light side one, Tank Revive, special TM gains, decent. Dark side level 3s aren't great. And then still the crazy stats. So that's where we land for this. If you got the Jedi Allies bundle, be ready to push some level 9s because you've got your ETH Koth, you got Plo. Those are going to be awesome. And you could put those with JML. I mean, no one's saying you can't, right? Like, you could stick Plo in JML and get another AoE stun if you wanted. There's nothing saying you can't do that. So it'll be up to you to decide how you want to break up your Jedi. But that's my initial guess if you have JMK, JML, and QA and all the toys. But if you don't, you might have less options and you might be putting some extra stuns in your JML team. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's any obvious combinations here I missed and where you guys plan to be using your OP stunning Jedi and your POW nuclear Death Star, because POW is going to be destroying planets this season. And if you have a POW, great. I do. I made a count on my alt. I definitely don't. So I might be the subject of some PAO nuclear bombs. We'll see. This might get some really good defensive viability too. We will have to just wait and see. I mean, I imagine you throw gas against PAO and he just removes. I mean, it's not insta kill, but he'll just shred the team. So we'll have to see how that shakes up. Yep. I'll see you guys in the next one.